I'm absolutely addicted to Soulstone Survivor. If you like Vampire Survivors, Torchlight or Diablo, then this game is right up your alley. It's launching in early access, which I typically like to stay away from, but already this game has so much content. 5 levels, 14 characters and over 100 skills to build your character with. To be honest, I was surprised to see the game was launching into early access after playing it. To break down a run of Soulstone Survivors, you pick your character which has different stats and weapons, select the level you want to tackle, and then get dropped into a relatively uneventful start. There may be 20 enemies running at you and you automatically attack quite slowly, but then it turns into this after 5 minutes and it just clicks with my brain. It takes the end game parts of great action RPGs like Torchlight, but gives them to you in a matter of minutes. In Torchlight or Diablo, you have to play the game for like 20 hours to get to this stage, but in Soulstone Survivors, it takes mere minutes. How this game differs from Vampire Survivors is that you can dodge attacks, and you have to aim your attacks too, which I prefer. Because even though I like Vampire Survivors, it definitely feels a bit too mindless for my liking. So the added control just keeps me that slight bit more engaged. As you kill enemies, they drop XP crystals, and this is where the fun comes in. You can choose different abilities and buffs when you level up, and there's an insane amount of builds to use. Now eventually I just fell into autopilot of what abilities to choose, and to be honest there isn't much difference in builds. I mean, yeah, I can build runs so that I inflict status effects or to increase the damage of my missile attacks. But at the end of the day, I only died once in my 5 hours with the game. In general, I had loads of fun turning my brain off, killing loads of enemies, but at the end of the day, I do think the game is slightly too easy. Once you beat a level, you unlock the next one, or you can replay the level with curses that make it harder. And there are 7 levels of curses, and so far I've gotten to level 4, and still the game isn't all too difficult. And I think that's definitely a conversation worth having, because does it need to be hard? I don't think it needs to be hard to still be fun, because I had fun despite the difficulty, but I would like to think I would have a bit more fun if the game challenged me a bit more. As for progression and leveling up, there are a few things you can do. Firstly, levels have resource nodes that you can use to craft new weapons. You can level up your characters and unlock new abilities as you go, and then there's a pretty basic skill tree with things like increased health and pickup range and things like that. And it once again works with my brain just seeing the numbers fly up, but it's ultimately a bit basic. As I write this review, I realise that these sorts of games don't need too deep of a critique. They are aiming to do one thing, and that is create a simple and satisfying loop of killing thousands of enemies and leveling up characters to make it even more crazy. And it achieves that in spades. This game is perfect for the Steam Deck, and performance can be a bit iffy, so you have to drop the graphic settings quite a bit and play it in 40Hz mode, but it still works pretty great. At this moment in time, I don't have a price point, but there is certainly enough content to keep you coming back, because I know for certain I'll be playing a run or two a night on my deck, just to keep chipping away the progression. For the amount of content, I would happily pay €15 for this. Anything over, and I think I'd wait for a sale. At the end of the day, it's a mindless game, and personally I don't think it should demand too much of your time or your money. If you liked Vampire Survivors, then you will like this game. If you're looking for another indie to check out, then give my Dawnkeeper review a watch. You might find something you like there. I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you all on the next video.